Now, there's one receiver that I feel like makes really good sense for the 49ers. No one has really linked these together. But so I will be the first here. I think if you get Davante Adams
Yep. I was just saying
to
thinking that
San
'cause
Francisco, I think that's a match made in heaven. Now, here's my theory on it, right?
that scares me.
It,
Really.
it's it scares me, but it also doesn't at the same time. So here's my rationale. So a lot of people are assuming that Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, who will both be able to select their new home this upcoming season, will be a package deal. There's a lot of rumors right now linking Rodgers with the Giants right now. We'll hold off on that for a second just for this conversation. One thing
I
that was reported by Adam Schefter, and I don't think you needed Adam Schefter to report this to kind of know this, just at least from my point of view as a Raiders fan that heard all the press conferences and just heard everything Adam said when he first got to Las Vegas. Adams is born and bred in the Bay Area, California. He grew up a Raiders fan and wanted to play for the Raiders, but more importantly, he wanted to play on the West Coast so his grandmother could watch him play, who never seen him play in the NFL. Couldn't do that in Green Bay. So with the West Coast still being very heavily on Davante Adams' mind, that gives you a few options, right? Some people are saying there's a reunion that could be brewing in Vegas, right? They're linking possibly Rodgers coming to Vegas as well. I can speak for most Raiders fans when I say that man isn't even welcome to the alumni brunches anymore as the Raiders. Okay. He could kick rocks and flip flops and break a toe for all I care.
Mhm.
Not welcome. Just sell the house next to the golf course. It will be all right. All right. Then you go to the Chargers. Okay, well, if he wants to burn that bridge with his favorite team that he grew up loving and played for, go ahead, play for Jim Harbaugh and the shitty San Diego Chokers that never won a Super Bowl in their whole franchise career and have the most overrated quarterback in the whole league out of all 32 teams. Okay, go ahead, do that. Go ahead. Or maybe he wants to play for the Rams, a team that barely has a fan base in their own city because the city they're in is majority fans of the Raiders. Then the only reason the Raiders didn't come to Los Angeles and return home from Oakland is because Jerry Jones didn't want to lose his grip from the Dallas Cowboys fan base that he built being from Oxnard, California. So that's why Stan Kroenke got the go-ahead to leave St. Louis, which we've seen has been craving a football team, a professional football team since they left. So you want to call this Rams house? The Rams were the only team to win a Super Bowl in their home stadium. Well, up until that point, the only team that was from the Los Angeles area to win a Super Bowl was the Los Angeles Raiders. So once again, before you start flying the flag of Rams house this, charge that, get all that blue, gold, no matter the shade, no matter the color, no matter the hex code, get it all the fuck out of there because silver and black runs deep in Los Angeles. It always will be. So I take that off the table. So then there's one more. There's a couple other West Coast teams. You can have the Cardinals. I don't see him going there. I can see the Seattle. He's not going to go there, maybe because they're talking about DK coming to the Raiders. But that leads me to one other team, the San
Okay.
Francisco, California team that doesn't play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara. But as a man from North Palo Alto, as Davante is, a city that is right there in the Bay, that's why I grew up a Raiders fan. What better opportunity to have your family, to be with your family, than to be back in the Bay? And if you have all this money from clearing out the Debo contract, getting rid of
I
the
like it.
Ayuk contract, it just makes all the sense in the world. Brock Purdy is about to get paid, so he can't bitch and moan about not having a real quarterback. You got one of the best quarterback and coaching combinations in the league right now. I don't know if you put Brock Purdy on 31 other teams. If he's this good, it deserves $50 million a year. I don't have the answer to that. I'm sorry. But all that being said, long story, less long. It just makes perfect sense to see Davante Adams in San Francisco. I think as a man, that's probably the best opportunity for him, just given everything he said. If he really did grow up a Raiders fan, I don't see him going to the Chargers. I don't see him going to the Chiefs. As if he goes to the Chiefs, let me tell you, this podcast is canceled. Okay, if
Oh,
if
God.
he goes to the Chiefs, you will
Send you
not.
into another stupor again. God.
But, but that is where I think Davante Adams goes, and my personal opinions on why he makes those decisions. I think if the Giants want to pair him up with Aaron Rodgers to keep him in the cold, to keep him in these high ass tax state that I currently reside in, then you're gonna have to pay him that East Coast tax. And I think if you're the 49ers or the Rams, or unfortunately the Chargers, I think you might get a hometown discount. And I thought it was the Rams all the way when I thought Stafford was coming to Vegas. So, I think it's one of those three teams in California. And if somehow it ends up being the Raiders, I'll dust my jersey off and wear it. But it will be an interesting time on the internet, to say the least. MG, what about you? What do you think about Davante?
Wow, that was a long rant to land the plane, but I liked it. Shows your passion. Um, I'm going to agree with you. I don't have a lot to say other than that. Sure, he's going to land somewhere, and I think it's better. I just hope he isn't insistent on going wherever Aaron goes, because that's you got to get out of that marriage. Okay, it's divorce. Send the papers. Have the people, sign off on it. Get the attorneys involved. Get out of that marriage. You don't need him.
Yeah,
You're one of the best receivers in the NFL, and with the right guy. And Purdy, I mean, Purdy's good enough. You can get them the ball on the outside and stuff. I think it'll be fine. So yeah,
yeah.
good call. Good call. I was trying to think of another team that he would work with. The only other one in my brain that probably isn't even suitable would be I was thinking Jacksonville with
I don't think
Trevor
Jacksonville would.
Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would ever consider that. I think if we're talking teams outside of the of those three West Coast California teams. And this is
Hmm.
once again just me looking at overall teams and knowing as a Raiders fan what is important to Davante, and that is a good fit with the scheme and a quarterback that will throw him the fucking ball. And that leads me to two and a half other options. Option number one, I think he would do really well with Josh Allen in Buffalo. I
Yep.
think that would be a match made in heaven for him. I think they
Might
have
be
other great weapons around him, and he would be able to be the star receiver on that offense with
the
Josh
Rams.
Allen.
The
I don't
Rams.
even
Another.
I don't even see the Ravens, just because I don't think with Lamar's abilities that um Adams would be too happy when the ball
No.
gets pulled
He
down and
wouldn't.
he thinks he was open.
Yeah. He
And
wouldn't. He would not get. He would not get his touches. I was thinking the
yeah.
Ravens. I was thinking with Stafford.
So
Mm,
my other option, my number two option, would be if Stephon Diggs does not return to Houston. I think Houston with CJ Stroud could be really good.
yeah, because
He wanted the Raiders to
what's his
draft Stroud.
face? It's the broken leg, right? Oh God,
Yeah,
what's his name?
Tank Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell. Yep.
Yeah, so I could see him fitting really well in Houston. And my half, because it's like I don't really see it, but I could see it at the same time just because of what's around there. He has tried during the whole massacre of Josh McDaniels that was happening in the media outlets when the Raiders fired him. Davante Adams would continue to go on and tout that company line of being pro Raiders, but saying he did have a good relationship with Josh McDaniels. The New England Patriots have Drake May, not a proven quarterback, but a
Yeah, but
quarterback.
he's gonna be good. He's gonna be better. So yeah, that actually makes sense
So
too.
that's
So
my half team. Pair him back up with the offense that he liked. He liked the Josh McDaniels offense. He has said that numerous times. They have a quarterback. You have Vrabel there that could kind of tie the reins in of the get me the damn ball conversation. And I think that could be a really good fit for Davante as well. So those would be my outliers. So I just gave you 6 teams that I think Davante could go to. And I don't know where else you're getting this kind of coverage on Davante Adams. Maybe on
yeah,
the
it
Adams
might be a
show,
little. We
which, by the
we
way,
might have blew the wad on that